Okay, so if you're a freelancer, you totally know this feeling. The thrill of getting paid, followed by that little voice in your head asking, so how much of this is actually mine? Well, today we are going to unpack 7 tax habits that most freelancers, honestly, wish they had started on day one. Let's turn that stress into a solid plan. We've all been there. That moment you get a letter from the government and your stomach just plummets. It's such a stressful part of freelance life, but I promise you, you are so not alone in this. But here's the good news. We can totally trade that anxiety for a few simple, really powerful habits. This isn't about becoming a tax genius overnight. It's just about taking back control, one little step at a time. Okay, so the single most important habit starts right here. Seriously, if you only take one thing away from all of this, make it this tip. This is your number one defense against that awful end-of-year tax shock. All right, here's the golden rule. The second a client payment hits your account, you're going to move 25 to 35% of it into a separate savings account. Immediately. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. You know what? Even better, just automate the transfer. This one simple action is like your financial force field. The key here is a mindset shift. See that 25 to 35%? It was never really your money to spend in the first place. Just think of yourself as a temporary holding tank for the government's money. When you move it right away, you get a real, honest picture of what you actually have left to run your life and your business. So you might be wondering, why is that number so high? Well, it's mostly because of this thing called the self-employment tax. See, when you've got a traditional job, your employer pays half of this. But as a freelancer, surprise, you pay the whole thing yourself. And that's on top of your regular income tax. That's exactly why setting aside such a big chunk is so important. Okay, so we've covered saving for taxes. Now let's get to the fun part, how to actually lower the amount you have to pay. This is where deductions come in, and trust me, they are about to become your new best friend. So our next few tips are all about the most common and powerful deductions for freelancers. We're talking about the space you work in, the travel you do for work, and of course, all the tools you use to get that work done. All right, tip number 2 is a big one. Claim your home office. If you have a dedicated workspace at home, and listen, even a desk in the corner counts, you can claim this. There's a simple method, which is super quick and easy. It's just based on the size of your space. Or there's the actual expenses method. It takes a little more math, but hey, it could mean a way bigger deduction. The bottom line, do not skip this one. It adds up fast. Okay, let's talk tip number 3. Track every single business mile. Drove to meet a client? Yep. Went to the store to pick up supplies? That counts too. It's all deductible. But the key is you have to track it. Seriously, just get an app that logs your trips automatically. Start from day one. Because trying to piece this all together a year from now is an absolute nightmare, and you'll definitely miss out on savings. And that brings us to tip number 4. Deduct your gear and your software. This category is just huge. I mean, think about it. Your Adobe subscription, website hosting, that new microphone you bought, even your business phone bill. If it's something you need to run your business, it's almost definitely a deductible expense. And every deduction lowers your taxable income. All right, so you're saving for taxes, you're tracking your deductions. What's next? Well, tip number 5 is all about paying the government on their schedule, not just once at the end of the year. And this one, it's pretty much non-negotiable if you want to avoid penalties. See, instead of one giant payment, freelancers are actually required to pay estimated taxes 4 times a year. These are the usual deadlines. Go ahead, put them in your calendar right now. Because paying on time means you avoid all those nasty late fees and interest charges. It's just smart business. Okay, now let's talk about making your tax strategy actually work for you. Our last couple of tips cover deductions that do double duty. They lower your tax bill today while you're actively building your wealth for tomorrow. It's awesome. Which brings us to tip number 6. Fund your own retirement. When you contribute to a special plan for freelancers, like a SEP IRA or a solo 401k, every single dollar you invest is deducted directly from your taxable income. You are literally paying your future self instead of the tax man. And the potential here is absolutely massive. I mean, we are talking about being able to contribute and deduct a huge chunk, sometimes up to a quarter of your net profit. So you lower your tax bill now while you build that retirement nest egg for later. It is a total win-win. Okay, and for our final tip, number 7, I want you to remember one number.
20%. Just burn that number into your brain, because for a lot of freelancers, it can mean a huge slice off their tax bill. This is what's known as the Qualified Business Income Deduction, or QBI for short. Now, it's a little complex, but it was designed specifically for businesses like ours. Most freelancers and sole proprietors are included. If you qualify, you could get to deduct 20% of your net profit right off the top of your taxable income. It's a massive potential saving, so you should definitely ask a professional if you might be eligible.
Wow, okay, we've covered a lot of ground, right? From seething habits to all these different deductions. So how do we pull this all together into a simple plan that doesn't feel totally overwhelming? Really, it just boils down to 4 core habits. Number 1, set that tax money aside immediately. 2, track every single business expense. 3, pay your taxes quarterly. And 4, invest in your future to lower your bill today. That's it. That is the foundation of a stress-free tax season. And remember, handling your taxes isn't just about, following the rules. It's a fundamental part of building a business that's sustainable, professional, and profitable. You can totally do this.
So don't try to do everything at once. That's the quickest way to get overwhelmed. Just pick one thing. So what's it going to be? Are you going to open that separate savings account for taxes? Or maybe download a mileage tracking app right now? Just start with that one small step this week. That's how you get started, and you'll be well on your way.